Ever get that feeling like you're your own worst enemy? It comes to like reaching your goals.
Yeah.
Like there's this part of you that just loves to hit the snooze button
Ugh.
or
Yeah.
just scroll endlessly on social media when you should be working on something big. It's like a universal struggle, right?
It is.
We all have this like inner enemy that sabotages all our best intentions.
Absolutely. And the fascinating thing is,
Yeah.
it's not just like laziness or lack of willpower.
Yeah.
There's a whole psychology behind why we sometimes act against our own best interests.
Okay, so there's actual science behind it, this self-sabotage.
Absolutely.
It's not just me with a serious case of the I'll do it tomorrow's.
It's like our brains have a built-in resistance to change, even when it's positive change.
Huh.
Our source material dives deep into these mental mechanisms.
Okay.
Lays out 5 key tactics that this like inner enemy uses to keep us stuck in a rut.
Of this inner saboteur, what's the first one?
First up is what we call coded for comfort.
Coded for comfort.
Yeah, and it all boils down to our brain's primal wiring. You see, from an evolutionary perspective, our brains are optimized for survival, not necessarily for personal growth. Back in the caveman days, sticking to routines and familiar territory.
Yeah.
That kept us safe from predators
Right.
and helped us conserve energy.
So our brains are still stuck in caveman mode,
Basically.
prioritizing comfort and safety over pushing ourselves to achieve those big, hairy, audacious goals.
Exactly. And in today's world, that translates to clinging to comfort zones.
Right.
Even when we know deep down that stepping outside of them would lead to greater fulfillment. Think about like a cozy blanket on a cold day. Feels amazing, but it won't help you run a marathon, right?
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like my brain is constantly whispering like, stay on the couch and binge watch your favorite show.
Right. It's safer here. But how do we overcome this hardwired need for comfort?
Well,
Is it even possible to rewire our brains?
it's definitely possible,
Okay.
but it requires conscious effort
Right.
and a bit of strategy. One approach is to start small. Take baby steps outside of your comfort zone and celebrate those little victories. The more we expose ourselves to new experiences and challenges, the more we expand our comfort zone.
So instead of trying to overhaul my entire life overnight, maybe I start by like trying a new workout class or finally tackling that daunting project I've been putting off.
Small wins lead to big victories.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right, what's the next sneaky tactic?
Okay, this one might seem counterintuitive at first, but it's the fear of success.
Why would we be afraid of achieving our goals
Right.
and living our best lives?
It's not always a conscious fear, but deep down, success can be scary. Because it often implies change, like a new job, a promotion, even reaching a personal fitness goal. They all bring a level of uncertainty.
Right.
And our brains, remember, are wired to avoid uncertainty.
I see what you mean. It's like that feeling
Yeah.
right before you do a big presentation or a first date.
Yeah.
Like a mix of excitement, but also nervous energy. Like, what if things don't go as planned?
Right.
What if I'm not ready for this next chapter?
Our inner enemy capitalizes on this uncertainty, whispering doubts and making us question if we're truly capable of handling the changes success might bring. We start focusing on what could go wrong instead of what could go right.
So how do we silence that voice of doubt and embrace those amazing opportunities without letting fear hold us back?
Absolutely. One powerful approach is to consciously shift our focus instead of dwelling on potential pitfalls.
We can actively visualize the positive outcomes of achieving our goals.
Okay.
What will it feel like to cross that finish line? To land that dream job? To finally fit into those genes? By focusing on the positive time, we can turn fear into anticipation and excitement.
I love that. Ditch the fear and embrace the excitement of the unknown.
Exactly.
It's about retraining our brains to see challenges as opportunities, not threats. Okay, what's the next hurdle we need to overcome in this battle?
This one is particularly insidious.
Okay.
Low self-esteem. That nagging voice of doubt that whispers, you're not good enough or you'll never be able to do that.
Oh, I know that voice all too well. It's like a constant stream of negativity on repeat in my head.
It is.
It's amazing how powerful that inner critic can be. It really sapped your motivation.
And the worst part is it often stems from past experiences, things that happened years ago, but still hold us back today. Maybe it was a critical teacher, unsupportive parent, or even just a string of failures that chipped away at our confidence.
So we're carrying around these old wounds and letting them dictate our current actions.
It's like we're letting our past define our future potential.
But how do we break free from that cycle of self-doubt, and start believing in ourselves again?
It takes consistent effort,
Okay.
but it's definitely possible.
Okay.
One powerful technique is to start building small wins each day. Little achievements that prove to ourselves that we are capable and worthy. Did you finally clean out that junk drawer? Finish that book you've been meaning to read? Celebrate those victories?
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
It's about reframing our self-perception and focusing on the positive instead of getting bogged down by those negative thoughts. It's like retraining our brains to see ourselves as capable and worthy of achieving our goals.
Each small win chips away at that wall of self-doubt, paving the way for greater confidence and self-belief.
I'm feeling more empowered already.
Good.
So we've tackled coded for comfort, fear of success,
Yep.
and low self-esteem. What's the next tactic our inner enemy uses to sabotage our progress?
This one's a classic.
Okay.
The allure of cheap fixes.
Cheap fixes.
Yeah, those instant gratification traps we all fall into from time to time.
I know this one.
Right.
Scrolling through social media for hours,
Yeah.
binging on junk food, choosing a quick TV show
Yeah.
over tackling that important project. It's like my brain is wired to seek out those quick hits of pleasure, even when I know they're not serving my long-term goals.
And that's exactly what your inner enemy is counting on.
Oh, gosh.
It whispers in your ear, just one more episode, or you deserve this treat. Knowing full well that it's pulling you further away from your true potential. It's trading lasting happiness for a fleeting moment of pleasure.
It's like my brain is a master manipulator.
Yes.
Constantly seeking out those shortcuts and quick fixes. But how do we break free from this cycle of instant gratification and start prioritizing those long-term goals that will truly bring us fulfillment?
The key is to start practicing delayed gratification. We need to train our brains to choose long-term fulfillment over those instant rewards.
That sounds good in theory.
Right.
But how do we actually do that?
It's definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
But it's about making conscious choices and being intentional with our time and energy.
Okay.
One practical tip is to start replacing those cheap fixes with activities that align with our goals.
All right.
So instead of mindlessly scrolling through your phone, spend 10 minutes working on that passion project or learning a new skill.
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Good.
It's all about making those small, intentional shifts that lead to big changes over time.
Absolutely.
It's not about being perfect. It's about progress.
Exactly. And the more we practice delaying gratification, the stronger our discipline muscle becomes. It's like anything else, practice makes progress. Yeah.
So we've uncovered 4 major tactics our inner enemy uses to keep us stuck: comfort seeking, fear of success, low self-esteem, and seeking cheap fixes. What's the final tactic we need to be aware of?
This one can be particularly paralyzing.
Okay.
Feeling overwhelmed by our own ambition.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Right.
Sometimes I have these big, audacious goals, but the sheer scale of them makes me feel like I can't even take the first step. Like my dreams are so big, they intimidate me to inaction.
And that's exactly what your inner enemy wants. It wants you to feel so intimidated by your dreams that you never even try.
It's like that saying, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Yes.
But sometimes that first step feels impossible to take.
The key here is to break down those big goals into smaller, more manageable steps.
Okay.
Instead of focusing on the entire mountain, just focus on the next foothold.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
So instead of saying, I want to write a novel, I could start by saying, I'm going to write for 30 minutes every day.
Exactly.
Okay.
And as you accomplish those smaller milestones, you build momentum and confidence, making the bigger goal feel less daunting.
So we've uncovered the 5 key tactics our inner enemy uses to hold us back.
We have.
Comfort seeking, fear of success, low self-esteem, seeking cheap fixes, and feeling overwhelmed by ambition.
Yes.
Wow. No wonder we struggle to achieve our goals with this saboteur working against us. But the good news is we're starting to understand its tactics.
We are.
Now, the big question is, how do we fight back?
Okay.
And reclaim our power?
Well, that's where things get really exciting.
Okay.
Our source outlines 7 powerful strategies for cultivating self-discipline and overcoming these internal barriers.
Okay.
These strategies are practical, actionable, and they really work.
Okay.
First up, and this is absolutely crucial, Define clear goals. It sounds deceptively simple,
Right.
but you'd be surprised how many people set off on a journey
Mm.
without a clear destination in mind.
Yeah.
It's like trying to climb a mountain
Right.
without knowing which peak you're aiming for.
Yeah.
You might end up wandering around aimlessly,
Yeah.
never reaching the summit.
So we're not talking about those vague aspirations,
No.
like be healthier or make more money.
Exactly. We need specific, measurable goals
Okay.
for every area of our lives.
Right.
Health, wealth, relationships, purpose, the whole shebang.
A whole shebang.
Think SMART goals.
Smart goals.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
I'm starting to see the power of this. Instead of just saying, like, I want to run more.
Right.
I could set a goal of running a 5K
Exactly.
in under 30 minutes by the end of spring. That's specific, measurable.
It is.
And it definitely gives me a deadline to work towards.
It does. It's like setting a course and charting a map to get there. Having that clarity makes it so much easier to stay motivated and disciplined.
Right.
Because you know exactly what you're working towards.
It's like having a compass guiding your every step.
Precisely.
It's like having a roadmap for success.
Yes.
Rather than just wandering aimlessly.
Exactly.
All right. What's the next step on this path to self-mastery?
Once you've got those clear goals, it's time to break them down into bite-sized pieces.
Okay.
Let's face it, big goals can be intimidating.
They can be.
Looking at the whole picture can be overwhelming,
Right.
leading to procrastination and that feeling of being stuck.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes I get so overwhelmed
Yeah.
just thinking about everything I need to do that I end up doing nothing at all.
That's where the power of chunking comes in.
Chunking.
We need to break down those big, audacious goals
Okay.
into smaller, actionable steps.
Right.
Instead of trying to eat the whole elephant at once, you focus on taking one bite at a time.
So instead of focusing on writing an entire novel,
Right.
I might start with a goal of writing one chapter a week, or even just commit to writing for 30 minutes each day.
Exactly. It's about creating those mini milestones that keep you moving forward and building momentum.
Right.
Each small step you take reinforces your sense of accomplishment,
Mm-hmm.
making the whole journey feel less overwhelming and more enjoyable.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like taking that massive mountain
Yes.
and turning it into a series of smaller hills
Exactly.
that we can climb one at a time.
One step at a time.
What's the next strategy for building that ironclad self-discipline?
This one is all about taking the decision-making out of the equation.
Okay.
Establish routines and daily habits.
Okay.
We're creatures of habit,
Right.
and our brains love automation. When we create routines, we essentially automate our progress towards our goals.
Got it.
It's like setting your GPS for success
Okay.
and then letting it guide you turn by turn.
So if my goal is to exercise more,
Right.
I might schedule a 30-minute workout every morning at 7:20 a.m.
Exactly.
That way it becomes part of my routine.
It does.
It's like brushing my teeth.
Yeah.
I don't even have to think about it. I just do it.
And the less we have to actively think about being disciplined,
Right.
the more likely we are to stick with it.
Nice.
It's like building a positive feedback loop.
Yeah.
Each time you follow your routine,
Right.
you reinforce the habit,
Mm-hmm.
making it easier and easier to stay on track.
It's like building those neural pathways in our brain,
It is.
making those positive actions more automatic
Yes.
and less effortful over time.
Exactly.
This is brilliant.
What's the next strategy for battling those inner demons?
Okay.
This one is all about setting ourselves up for success.
Okay.
Eliminate temptations.
Eliminate temptations.
Remember those cheap fixes we
Wow.
talked about earlier?
Oh, yeah.
The siren song of social media?
Yeah.
The allure of junk food? All those sneaky little distractions that sabotage our best intentions.
I know them well.
Right.
It's like they're always lurking around waiting to pounce.
They are.
The moment my willpower weakens.
Well, it's time to fight back.
Okay.
We need to be ruthless
Okay.
about eliminating those temptations from our environment.
Right.
Out of sight, out of mind, as they say.
Right.
If you're trying to cut back on sugar, get rid of all the candy and cookies in your pantry.
Okay.
If you're constantly getting distracted by your phone,
Yeah.
put it in another room while you work.
It's like setting up those guardrails
It is.
to keep us on the path to success.
But let's be honest.
Yeah.
There will be times when those temptations are just too strong to resist. What do we do then?
That's where the next strategy comes in.
Okay.
Prioritize self-care. Now, this might seem counterintuitive,
Okay.
but taking care of your physical and mental well-being is crucial for maintaining discipline.
It's like trying to run a marathon. Without proper training or nutrition,
Mm-hmm.
you're bound to hit a wall.
I've definitely experienced that.
Have you?
When I'm exhausted, stressed, or feeling burnt out, it's so much harder to resist those temptations
Right.
and stay focused on my goals.
Exactly.
It's like my willpower reserves are completely depleted.
So make sure you're getting enough sleep, eat
Yeah.
nutritious foods, managing your stress levels,
Wow.
and engaging in activities
Yep.
that bring you joy and rejuvenation.
Okay.
When your mind and body are well nourished,
Right.
you're much more likely to make those healthy choices
Mm-hmm.
that align with your goals.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Self-care isn't selfish.
No,
It's essential for achieving our full potential.
it is.
It's like fueling the engine of our success.
Exactly.
What's the next strategy on our list?
This one might surprise you.
Okay.
Move in the shadows.
What does that even mean?
It's about keeping your goals and progress to yourself. There's a certain power in working on your goals quietly without the pressure of external validation or judgment.
I've definitely experienced that.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I share my goals publicly,
Right.
it can feel like I'm already halfway there,
Yeah.
even though I haven't actually done anything yet.
Exactly.
Then I get all this praise and encouragement,
Right.
and it's like my motivation fizzles out
It does.
because I feel like I've already arrived.
Exactly. And that can actually lead to less motivation and follow through.
Right.
It's like getting a pat on the back
Yeah.
before you've even started the race.
Right.
By keeping things private, you're staying focused on the process, not on what other people think.
I see.
You're letting your actions speak louder than words.
So it's about cultivating that inner drive.
Yeah.
And staying true to our own path, not getting distracted by the expectations or opinions of others. I love that. What's the final strategy
Okay.
for conquering our inner enemy
Yes.
and becoming the masters of our own destiny?
This one is for those who are ready to level up their discipline game.
Okay.
Embrace the pain.
Embrace the pain.
Yes.
Ouch, that doesn't sound very appealing.
It's about reframing our mindset
Okay.
around challenges and discomfort.
Right.
It's about understanding that growth and progress often involve pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zones.
So instead of dreading that early morning workout,
Right.
I should learn to appreciate the challenge
Yes.
and the feeling of pushing myself beyond my limits.
Exactly. It's about understanding that those moments of discomfort are often where the real magic happens.
Okay.
It's where we build resilience, develop mental toughness,
Right.
and tap into our hidden potential.
It's like that saying, no pain, no gain.
Exactly.
But I think you're taking it a step further. You're saying we should actually embrace the pain as a necessary part of the process. It's about reframing those challenges as opportunities for growth and transformation.
Precisely. It's about training our minds to see those challenges not as obstacles, but as stepping stones on the path to success.
So we've got our 7 strategies.
We do.
Define clear goals.
Yep.
Break them down, establish routines,
Right.
eliminate temptation, prioritize self-care, move in the shadows,
Correct.
and embrace the pain.
Yes.
These are all incredibly powerful tools
They are.
for building self-discipline. But I'm curious, how do we actually apply these strategies in our daily lives?
Right.
It's one thing to talk about them,
Yeah.
but how do we make them a reality?
Okay.
Life can be messy,
It can.
with temptations lurking around every corner.
That's a great question.
Yeah, craving that practical advice.
Okay.
How do we actually put these strategies into action? In the real world, life can be messy.
You're absolutely right. It's not about becoming a robot or striving for some unattainable ideal of perfection.
Yeah.
It's about finding what works for you,
Okay.
making those small intentional shifts that lead to big changes over time.
Right.
It's about progress, not perfection.
So it's more about creating a sustainable lifestyle,
Exactly.
not just a temporary burst of willpower that quickly fizzles out.
Think of it like training a muscle.
Okay.
The more you practice self-discipline, the stronger it becomes. And just like with any workout,
Yeah.
consistency is key.
Okay.
Some days you'll hit the gym with energy and enthusiasm. Other days you'll struggle to get off the couch.
Yeah.
But the key is to keep showing up, even when you don't feel like it.
Okay. That's reassuring.
Yeah.
So there will be days when I hit the snooze button
Right.
instead of going for that run.
Yeah.
Or I cave and eat that extra slice of cake.
It happens.
I'm not going to beat myself up over those slip-ups.
No.
It's about getting back on track
Exactly.
and remembering why I started this journey in the first place.
I love that mindset.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that you're human, not a machine.
Right.
There will be setbacks, but the key is to not let those setbacks define you. Learn from them, adjust your approach as needed, and keep moving forward.
It's like that saying, fall 7 times, stand up 8.
I love that.
It's not about avoiding failure. It's about developing the resilience
Yes.
to get back up and keep going.
Beautifully said. And remember, self-discipline isn't a destination, it's a journey.
Okay.
There will be ups and downs, victories and setbacks. But each time you choose discipline over instant gratification, you're strengthening that mental muscle and moving closer to your goals.
I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. Yeah. It's not about being perfect. It's about progress.
Yes.
It's about those small, consistent efforts that compound over time, leading to incredible results.
Exactly.
It's about mastering our minds and becoming the architects of our own lives.
That's the essence of it.
Yeah.
And it's about being patient with yourself.
Okay.
Self-discipline is a skill that takes time and practice to develop.
Right.
You wouldn't expect to become a world-class athlete overnight.
Right.
So why expect to become a master of self-discipline instantly?
Yeah.
It's a process of continual growth and refinement.
Okay. That's a great reminder.
Yeah.
So no more comparing myself to those seemingly perfect people on social media who appear to have it all together.
Exactly.
It's easy to get caught up in the comparison game.
It is.
And feel like we're not good enough.
Remember, what you see on social media is often a carefully curated highlight reel.
Yeah.
Not the full picture. Everyone struggles with self-discipline from time to time.
That's true.
Instead of comparing yourself to others, focus on your own journey and celebrate your progress. No matter how small it may seem, each step forward is a victory worth celebrating.
So to wrap things up,
we've
uncovered the 5 sneaky tactics our inner enemy uses to hold us back.
We have.
And explored 7 powerful strategies for building unshakable self-discipline.
We did.
It's been an incredible journey.
It has.
And remember, it's not about being perfect.
Right.
It's about making those small, intentional choices each day that move us closer to our goals.
Absolutely.
It's about taking ownership of our lives and realizing that we have the power.
We do.
To create the future we desire.
Exactly.
So instead of asking ourselves, can I do this? We should be asking, how will I make this happen?
Exactly. It's about shifting from a mindset of doubt and limitation to a mindset of empowerment and possibility.
This has been such an insightful and empowering deep dive.
Good.
I feel like I have a whole new toolkit for conquering my inner enemy and achieving my goals.
I'm so glad to hear that. And remember, you are capable of amazing things.
Thank you.
Don't let that inner saboteur hold you back any longer.
You've got this part. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey of self-discovery.
My pleasure.
Until next time, keep diving deep.